Learn English through story, The Weight of Conscience. In the year 1866, in a bustling port town by the sea, there lived a man named Samuel Hale. Samuel was a respected shipbuilder, known for his exquisite craftsmanship and attention to detail. He had built a successful business, providing for his wife, Eliza, and their 2 children. Despite his prosperity, Samuel felt an inner turmoil that he could not shake, yet a growing discontent that gnawed at his conscience. One stormy evening, Samuel was working late at his shipyard when a stranger appeared, soaked from the rain and seeking shelter. The man introduced himself as Thomas Grayson, a traveling merchant. Samuel, ever the gracious host, invited him inside. They shared stories over a flickering oil lamp, and Samuel learned that Thomas had fallen on hard times, his ship caught in a fierce storm that had devastated his cargo. As the hours passed, Samuel's sympathy for the merchant grew. He felt a stirring in his heart, a desire to help. "I could lend you some money," Samuel offered. "It's not much, but it could help you get back on your feet." Thomas's eyes brightened with gratitude. "Thank you, kind sir. I would be forever in your debt." They agreed on a sum, and Samuel felt a rare sense of fulfillment. But as he handed over the coins, a shadow of doubt crossed his mind. He had taken money from his savings intended for his children's future, yet he pushed the thought aside, convinced that he was doing the right thing. In the days that followed, Samuel's decision weighed heavily on him. He found it increasingly difficult to focus on his work, his thoughts consumed by the plight of Thomas. Every time he passed the empty shipyard, he imagined the merchant sailing away, the coins he had given him transforming into hope and prosperity. Weeks turned into months, and Samuel's thoughts began to haunt him. He learned through whispers in the town that Thomas had indeed left, but his business had not thrived as Samuel had hoped. Instead, he had squandered the money on ill-advised ventures, leaving him more destitute than before. Samuel's guilt deepened. He became consumed with a sense of responsibility for the man he had tried to help. He started to withdraw from his family, spending late nights at the shipyard, lost in thought. Eliza noticed the change in her husband and grew concerned. "Samuel, you've been distant. What troubles you?" she asked one evening. "It's nothing, my dear," he replied, forcing a smile. "Just the weight of work." Eliza pressed further. "I know you, Samuel. You carry burdens like no one else. Please, share with me." After a long pause, Samuel finally spoke. "It's about the money I lent to Thomas. I thought I was helping, but it seems I only made things worse. I can't shake the feeling that I failed him." Eliza listened intently, her expression softening. "You acted from a place of kindness. Sometimes, we can't control the outcome of our good intentions." "But I can't help but feel responsible," Samuel admitted, his voice heavy with regret. "What if I had done more? What if I had been wiser?" Eliza reached for his hand, her grip firm and reassuring. "You cannot carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You did what you thought was right. That's all we can do." Despite her comforting words, Samuel's conscience remained unsettled. He decided he had to find Thomas and see if there was any way he could make amends. So, he set out on a journey to the next town, where he had learned Thomas had last been seen. After hours of travel, Samuel arrived in a weary, windswept village. The atmosphere was somber, and the townsfolk were wary of strangers. After some inquiries, he discovered Thomas was living in a dilapidated shack on the outskirts. With a heavy heart, Samuel approached the run-down home, unsure of what he would find. He knocked hesitantly, and a disheveled Thomas answered, his eyes widening in surprise. "Samuel Hale, what brings you here?" "I came to see how you were doing," Samuel replied, trying to mask his anxiety. "I wanted to help if I could." Thomas's face fell. "You shouldn't have come. I've made a mess of everything. Your kindness only brought me deeper into despair." "I wish to help you get back on your feet," Samuel offered. "What can I do?" "I need more than money," Thomas said, his voice choked with emotion. "I need a new start, but I can't do it alone." Samuel felt a swell of determination. "Then let's work together. I'll help you find a new trade. You have skills, you just need direction." Over the next few weeks, Samuel and Thomas worked side by side, rebuilding not only the merchant's life but also their friendship. They started a small business together, combining Thomas's knowledge of trade with Samuel's craftsmanship. Slowly but surely, they gained the trust of the townsfolk and rebuilt their reputations. As their business flourished, Samuel found renewed purpose. He realized that true kindness came not only from giving but also from empowering others to rise. In supporting Thomas, he had found a path to redemption for both of them. One evening, as they sat on the porch of their workshop, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Thomas turned to Samuel. "You could have turned your back on me after I squandered your generosity. Instead, you chose to lift me up." "Thank you," Samuel smiled, his heart light. "You taught me something invaluable, Thomas. It's not just about what we give, it's about the connections we forge and the lives we uplift." As time passed, Samuel returned home with a newfound perspective. Eliza noticed the change in him. "You seem different, Samuel. What happened?" "I learned that true strength lies in compassion and collaboration," he replied. "And I can't carry the burdens of others alone. Together, we can rise above our mistakes." Their family grew closer as Samuel shared his experiences. He involved Eliza in his newfound purpose, and together they began mentoring others in the community, helping those who struggled to find their footing. The shipyard became a hub of activity, filled with laughter and learning. One fateful day, as Samuel was mentoring a group of young apprentices, he received word that the town was in turmoil. A storm had ravaged the coast, destroying homes and displacing families. Samuel's heart sank as he realized the devastation that had unfolded. Without hesitation, he rallied the community. "We have the skills and the resources to help rebuild. We can't turn our backs on those in need." With Eliza by his side, Samuel organized a relief effort. They gathered supplies, repaired homes, and offered support to the affected families. The townsfolk rallied together, united by a common purpose. As they worked side by side, Samuel felt the weight of his conscience lift. He realized that his journey had come full circle. The struggles he had faced with Thomas had equipped him with the strength to lead during this crisis. Weeks later, as the community began to heal, Samuel stood before a gathering of grateful townsfolk. "We faced the storm together, and in that storm, we discovered our true strength. Let us continue to lift each other up, for it is in unity that we find hope." As he spoke, Samuel saw the faces of those he had once worried about at the merchants, the families, the workers, each one reflecting the resilience and determination he had come to admire. In the months that followed, the town thrived. The shipyard was filled with apprentices eager to learn, and Samuel's legacy grew. He taught not only the craft of shipbuilding but also the importance of community and compassion. The bonds forged during those trying times laid the foundation for a brighter future. Samuel's journey had taught him that true success was not measured by wealth or status but by the impact one had on others' lives. As he stood with Eliza and their children, watching the sunset over the bustling port, he knew he had found his purpose. Years later, as an elder in the community, Samuel often reflected on the twists and turns of his life. He had faced his demons, learned from his mistakes, and emerged stronger. He had become a pillar of support, guiding others on their journeys, just as he had once helped Thomas. One evening, as he shared stories with a group of young apprentices, one of them asked, "Mr. Hale, what is the greatest lesson you've learned?" Samuel smiled, his heart swelling with pride for the next generation. "The greatest lesson, my friends, is that kindness and compassion can change lives. We were all connected, and together we can overcome any storm." And so, in that port town, amidst the ebb and flow of the tides, the legacy of Samuel Hale lived in a testament to the power of empathy, resilience, and the unwavering bonds of community. As the sun set, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, Samuel knew that he had found his place in the world, a place built on the foundation of understanding and the strength of human connection. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.